Hey, it's To the Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
That might have actually played twice. I'm not sure. Anyways, we're back. Episode 67. Another Monday night. You all right over there, Leo?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Listen,
Were you ready?
I am ready, man. I'm
Okay.
ready to just see what's up, what's going on,
What's going on, guys?
what's going on in the world, Vince. How you doing?
It's St. Patrick's Day was
Good.
yesterday. You do anything
Yesterday,
for
St.
St. Patrick's Day?
No, I didn't. I did have a little corned beef and cabbage and potatoes, and
Yeah,
I actually poured some horseradish
we really
cream
didn't do
sauce
anything.
on my corned beef. You guys ever had that little
Yeah.
horseradish
Yeah,
cream sauce?
that is
Some
good.
Some good stuff.
We haven't had that in a couple of years, but we do corned beef and cabbage. I mean, we don't need St. Patrick's Day to do that, but
Yeah, for sure.
we love it here. Anyway.
Yeah, I like it. I like corned beef. Period. You know, I actually found a good piece this year for sure. It's real delicious.
Did you? Well, I had
Yeah.
two, and one of them
No bueno, huh?
Yeah.
had to cook it like twice as long.
Really? No, this one
But
was
I
like
actually put it in the pressure cooker. And
Did you?
it more, yeah.
no, this one was like perfect, like fatness. Like it was just like
Yeah.
perfect, man. I was like, man, I just think couldn't be any perfecter.
Perfector.
Yeah, perfecter.
Perfector. Yeah.
anyways, but yeah.
She did one in the crock pot, and then the second one, she did it overnight, and then the second one she put in there in the morning, and the second one just never turned
off.
up. Yeah. But it's like brisket, man. It's win, lose, or draw, unless you are the one trimming it and cutting it.
Right.
You know?
Because most of the time you're buying it, it's already packaged.
It's already
and-
packaged.
Yeah,
and
yeah. You have
Can't
no
really
idea what you're getting, especially corned beef. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
already
red and
corned,
seasoned
yeah.
and brine. I mean, they're for the most part, they're all pretty good.
Yeah, but anyways, did you guys hear they got a Mike? Did you hear that they have a second suspect? You know, for that double
The
homicide?
double homicide that was here in Indian
Local
River
news.
County. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, what's the deal with that?
Well, you know, I was hearing, you know, because I guess he had another press conference about it. It was either today or whatever. But I was reading the news, you know, and it was just saying that I guess they have a second suspect, but it appears to be that the second suspect is the witness that was there.
You mean,
It wasn't just a witness.
The
It
it
whistleblower.
turns
it
out,
wasn't
yeah.
just the witness, but he is now also
a
the
suspect.
second. He
The
is also
suspect.
now the second suspect because he is seen, and you know, they got doorbells, they got rings, people got cameras out there nowadays, just for their safety, and you know, I don't blame them. And I guess one of them caught them, you know.
Was it another young kid? I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a 16 years old. 16. So
16-year-old.
I guess the first one, was a 17, and then this one's a 16. So it caught him, you know, saying that if the plan didn't go correctly, it says right here, Indian River County civilians footage shows teens plotting to shoot two Brevard County men if the drug deal went wrong.
Which they pretty much knew it was because they showed up with $1,000,
right.
and the amount they were supposed to pay
Right.
was $3.
Right. So, you know, and it says, you know, the second suspect, like 16-year-old who lives in the largest division, which the second suspect lives in VLE, where those two guys were murdered, you know, was spotted shaking hands with the shooter after the deadly gunfire, Indian County Sheriff Office said. And then they also released a video, Vince. Man, you should hear it, man. It's pretty bad. Like, just bad in the terms of like horrible, man. Like, how could you do this, you know? Like, you hear the gunfire, you hear 20 rounds of gun.
Yeah, I
20
actually
rounds.
caught that. I caught that press conference
Right.
actually on their app.
And yes, that's where I saw it, and I was like, oof. Like, you could hear the gunfire just, and you only hear from one gun. Because you could hear, you could clearly hear if there's multiple gunfire.
yeah.
But no, it's just one. And it's like, oof.
So the second suspect didn't pull a trigger, but he
No.
was there and involved.
Right.
And
So
knew what was going to happen, pretty much.
He knew
'Cause
he knew what was going to
I
happen.
wonder
because,
if he was aware
because-
that they were showing up with a third of the money.
Oh, I'm sure they did,
I'm
because
just
Eric
curious.
Flower said in his conference, you know, you know, if Mike, if you want to jump in, he was saying, you know, that they had already agreed and said that if shit went wrong, they were going to shoot him.
Right. Which they,
So-
like I said, they knew it was going to go wrong.
They knew already was
to
gonna go
me,
wrong.
to me, that was the one kid turned in the other kid, and the other kid's in prison or jail, saying, "Oh, but what do you mean he turned me in? This is what the plan was. He was in on this,
Right.
but he turned me in."
Right.
They pitted each other them
Right.
against which is what they do.
Well, Mike, I mean, it's 17 and 16-year-olds, man. They're kids, man.
Right.
They're young kids, man. They don't know what they're doing. They don't
Right.
know if there's, and even if one of them ratted the other one out or say, no, I didn't do it, it's all caught on camera. Because like I said, people have ring bells and surveillance
Right.
camera, and for things like this, you have to cough that shut up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you
for
want to
sure.
you want to hear the press conference?
You know.
Should we play it real
Yeah,
quick?
play real quick, Mike.
Here we go.
Our team has been working this case since Monday of last week. It was actually almost this time that the homicide happened at about 3 o'clock a week ago today. And so our team has not stopped from that time, and we wanted to give you the latest on this case. Our team was actually working over the weekend, and I'm happy to tell you, when I was here with you last time, we talked about a witness that was involved in this case, and we were still investigating that witness. We wanted to find out what the series of events were, and based on our initial conversations with the witness, we did not believe that he was being completely forthcoming with us. And so over the weekend, we actually arrested and charged our second suspect. We are not naming him. He is a juvenile. He is 16 years old, but he has been charged with 2 counts of murder, third-degree murder, essentially, and 2 counts of accessory after the fact, first degree. We're not naming him for 2 reasons. One, he is a juvenile. He is 16 years old. The other reason is that he has been cooperative with us, and we hope that he will continue to be cooperative with us. The initial suspect that we arrested, Mr. Jaime Mosqueda, has not been cooperative. He has not talked to us, and so we are hoping that this second witness will continue to work with us. He has not been completely forthcoming, but there are certain items that we are able to prove through forensic evidence and through a variety of different media ways. So many people have Ring doorbells. Many people have surveillance cameras. Our team has been combing the area that we know that they traveled. And as a result of that, we've actually obtained quite a bit of surveillance footage. Now, many of that I can't release to you today, but I do want to tell you the reason why we ultimately charged him. And I'm going to show you a photo here. These are actually our suspect, Jaime Mosqueda, who is in the blue, that was arrested. And this is our witness in the black, and they're shaking hands after the shooting. The video that we have obtained actually shows prior to the homicide, them having a discussion, and obviously these items have to go through forensic testing, and we have to verify that the things that we're hearing on those tapes are the things that we believe that we're hearing, but ultimately they're having a discussion of, if things go bad, we'll just shoot them. We're just going to shoot them. They're having that conversation. After the fact, they're high-fiving. They're saying, great job. We're hearing them have that discussion about how good of a job it was that they did. And so for our witness to come forward and tell us that, he had no idea that there was going to be a shooting, well, clearly he was present for that conversation, which we have on video. For him to say that, he was worried, well, afterwards he's shaking hands with our number one suspect, our shooter, really goes against what he had initially told us. The last thing I'll play for you is actually audio from a surveillance camera in the neighborhood. And so it was a nearby house. There's no video with this, but we're going to play the audio that was captured. And this is actually the rapid fire gunshot. You're going to hear 20 gunshots that are fired during this transaction. So listen to this. You can hear they fired 20 rounds in succession, directly killing these 2 young men, these 2 19-year-old boys. So we now have a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old in custody. We are going to continue to work this case. Our team has done an incredible job. Detective McKay is up here with me. Our entire team has worked so hard to go out and collect all this. Our entire detective bureau has been out collecting evidence, and we're proud of them, the work that they've done, and we're going to continue to work this case and ultimately put it in.
Anyways, that's Sheriff Eric Flowers. He does a bunch of questions, I'm sure, because he's running for re-election also. So it's pretty interesting, the way that had turned out. You're dealing with kids.
Yeah, for sure. You do. That's.
I'm
that is
sure
crazy.
when reality sunk in, you know,
I mean, the plan they had from the get go was to shoot them, and then you
Shoot 'em.
heard 20 shots, just boom, 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 one after another. I mean, they were, the plan was to
They
kill
were
them.
murdered.
The plan was to kill them.
To murder them. Yes.
So
they
that-
were robbing them, and they knew they were going into it.
Yeah, so I mean that's
Willing to
first,
shoot 'em.
That's first degree murder.
Yeah, that's
without
pretty
a doubt.
shitty.
You know,
Yeah, pretty shitty. Anyways,
sometimes you get a lesser sentence when it wasn't something planned, but they clearly had that plan.
But see, now they're gonna say, "Oh, it's the gun's fault. The gun's fault." Teens and guns. No, it's misuse of a gun.
yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we're on YouTube right now and Facebook Live. We're gonna jump off here in just a minute and go with our full episode on Rumble. Might be able to hang on to one of the other streams, but I think we'll just move on to Rumble. If you don't follow us on Rumble, I think you should jump on over there. Let me pull it up for you here. Yeah, if you're not on Rumble, make sure you go download Rumble. It's a free app. Most of our episodes will end up on Rumble and YouTube and Spotify. And on Spotify, it gets dispersed to Apple, Google, and all those other things. But however, if something like that doesn't happen, or the internet is affected and whatever, Rumble's the priority because I know it's there to stay.
Right. A lot of your YouTubers are on Rumble, and they'll put stuff on Rumble that YouTube won't allow them. So if you want to see some of your favorite YouTubers uncensored, Rumble is the place to do it.
Yeah, so here's our Rumble page, and you can tell we've got the views, but not a lot of people really get Rumble yet. And I get it. It's a different platform. Here we go. Here's a better way of seeing it. The views can skyrocket historically, but the follower count is difficult because Rumble's just a different platform. Everybody's used to YouTube, So anyways, follow us on Rumble. That's where our priority will go. And then afterwards, YouTube, it'll encore, whatever, YouTube, Spotify, like always. But it's not going to be alive or anything like that. Not that anybody really gives a damn, but just so when you catch us on Facebook only for about 15 or so odd minutes, that's what's going on. We're jumping off of Facebook and we're going to YouTube where we're not going to get restricted, or we're not going to get flagged or banned from advertising for businesses outside of our political speech. So, which Facebook is notorious for. And anyways, we can get into that on Rumble too. So, you guys good? You want to jump over to Rumble, or you want to say anything to anybody on Facebook?
No?
Where can they follow you?
On Instagram.
On Instagram, how do they follow you, Leo?
Just that.
You don't know your Instagram handle?
Not right
How
now,
do you
he
get?
doesn't.
Not right
That's fine.
Not right now.
It's at what?
Not right now.
Not right now. Anyway, yeah, follow us on Rumble to find out.
Yep.
All right, Vince, you good?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And no, I don't know mine either.
I don't know mine. I know that the X is at tothepoint.com. That's the number 2. The point dot is DOT.com. So that's us on X, and it's me on X talking shit. Anyways, let's figure out how to get us out of here again. What do you want, Vince? You want here we go.
Do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
IRC Washing. We've got you covered. Houses and buildings, concrete and sidewalks, roofs and fences. Available for commercial and residential services. Call or text 772-584-7703 and visit ircwashing.com.
And we're back. Yeah, it might automatically put your intro in there, Vince, and we just don't hear it. But either way, we're back. Episode 67. We just left Facebook. If you're coming to us from over that way, and appreciate it. We're live on Rumble. We'll upload this later to the other platforms, but trying to build our base on Rumble and X and the alternative platforms. If you're on any of the other ones, chances are you'll find us there too, including the notorious TikTok. There is a to the point TikTok with some shorts on there.
Did that hurt, Mike? Did that hurt to say that? A little bit?
Yeah, you know what? The one thing I'll tell you
Getting those hits
is the engagement is real, and that's the only thing. Like the view count, probably not real, but the engagement is actually real because it's I can tell it's not just bot. You can tell when you deal with people responding to your stuff online if it's a bot or if it's a dumbass human, which I've dealt with today on one of the Facebook pages also. But for the most part, there is a lot of engagement, a lot of people saving your stuff and people commenting on it. It makes me feel dirty. I don't really care about it. But Facebook makes me feel dirty too, Posting shorts and stuff like that I think is cool for YouTube, and it would be nice for Rumble if you can post shorts to Rumble, if it had some type of platform like that. Having said that, they voted to ban TikTok here in the States.
Right.
They gave it like 160 days to divest, which means they had to sell off TikTok. ByteDance is the parent company. It's controlled by the Communist Party in China. Most companies in China are.
I know we were talking one of the Rumble is one of the possibilities of buying it.
Yeah, hopefully. I had the printer ate it up, but the dude that's running Rumble had made an offer to go into a partnership because Rumble is building their own cloud service. And if you know anything about that kind of stuff, if you remember in 2020 after January 6th, Amazon cloud service was shutting down websites because and nobody knew Amazon also controls bandwidth, like web servers and stuff, the largest provider of web servers in the world already. So they shut down a lot of conservative websites.
Right.
And so Rumble is building an alternative to that. They're a Canadian-based company, but obviously
Rumble's a Canadian-based company?
It is, but they're American patriots that are operating it, and they're all about the free speech.
Where are they from? Canada?
It's based out of Canada, but I think that's actually Americans running the company. It's changed hands and sold here and there, but or they've acquired other platforms to build their platform, and now they're making an offer to ByteDance to take TikTok into a partnership where everything about it is controlled and owned and operated in North America, not
Right.
in
Not
China.
in China.
Some say the ByteDance won't do that. They're not going to sell off TikTok. They own other apps too. I use one of their apps for video editing because it's free and it's freaking dummy proof. If you see any of our shorts, my camera's going out of focus. I can't do nothing about that with the app. But if you see any of our edited software, it's probably done with a free AI tool that comes out of China. No matter which software you use, chances are China's already got their fingers in on it. Damn, I'm out of focus. Either way, we were talking on our earlier segment on Facebook about the double homicide here in Indian River County, where two 19-year-old boys were shot dead in a rural part of the county called Vero Lake Estates, which used to be like a go-to place for rough and rowdy redneck partying, but now it's developed. Used to not be developed, now it is. But anyways, this was a meeting place for a drug deal that went bad, and
they knew it was already going to go bad.
Right. That's what we were led to believe in the beginning. And turns out the witness that led the sheriff's department to the gun and to the alleged murderer, wasn't just so innocent himself, was given bad information to the police department or sheriff's department, but this individual is 16.
Yeah.
The other one was what, 17?
17, yeah.
And they both shot dead.
What, just one of them? One of
the
them
17-year-old was the one that pulled the trigger.
But the 16-year-old now is charged with second-degree murder.
Because he helped plan it.
Right.
And was involved with everything other than pulling the trigger.
We won't play that new part of the news.
But what was I going to say?
Again, but
it's just, do you think they should be charged as an adults?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I mean, they're going to go to prison.
17-year-old. So if he did it, what is he? 6 months away from being 18?
How many years do you think?
Maybe a year
or do you
most.
Think, just to put it like, how many?
Like, when would the cutoff be? Like, no, he's too young to be charged as an adult?
I'm just saying, like, how many years do you think he is going to be doing prison, or is he going to be in prison for life?
The one that pulled the trigger will probably get. Well, a life sentence doesn't mean they're going to be in there the rest of their lives.
It's like 20 years.
Yeah.
25 years.
So I wouldn't be surprised, being that he'll get us. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out in 15, maybe less.
That all depends on his behavior, also.
Right now, yeah, and right now, from what we were talking about earlier, he's the one that's not been cooperative. So, I mean, I don't know. At some point, when he lawyers up, he might change his tune a little bit and be a little more cooperative.
I mean, everything just shows that you just planned it out.
Yeah, I mean, they've got all the evidence they need. I mean, it's going to be a pretty much open and shut case.
That's crazy.
At least for the guy that pulled the trigger. The other one, he's going to definitely try to get a lesser sentence because he didn't actually pull the trigger.
But that's crazy, though. Like, it's just like,
it seemed premeditated based on what the sheriff came out with today. But I have to tell you, I mean, the sheriff's running for re-election and he's been on top of it lately. And he's, our sheriff, whenever there's an election coming around, he's quick to jump in front of the cameras.
For sure.
And I'm just wondering if he did that too soon the other day. And now, we're arresting the witness, 16-year-old kid that should have been apprehended the day of.
Right.
Well, that's why he was a witness. And I think they kind of knew, because once they knew that he was a rider, they kind of, hey. They knew the whole story wasn't correct.
Yeah.
When he first came and told them.
He said, now after the fact that his story didn't completely line up. Like, it seemed like something was off. Sad for both parties, for the parents of the kid,
lots of lives ruined.
Yeah, lots of lives ruined.
I was thinking the
murder
same
right
thing.
in the fucking grass.
Murder, man, that is sad. Murder.
Not just the parents of the kids that got killed. Imagine being the parents of the kids that are now in jail because of killing other
And
kids.
have to live with your kid killing another
Yeah,
kid.
I mean, their lives are just
Okay.
as well ruined.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
okay, but now look at that one parent that is going to jail for buying or providing
Michigan,
in
was it
Michigan.
Michigan, a school shooting in Michigan.
Yeah.
The school shooting. You know, the parents going for jail is doing time for that too. Now,
yeah, and there it
and
was.
this could happen as well too.
It wasn't the
This
fact.
can happen as well.
I believe it wasn't the fact that the gun was not allowed for the kid to possess, but they left the gun where the kid was able to get to it too easily.
Easy access for
Right.
them to get to it. Right.
Is what I guess is what they're really trying to throw the book at them.
See
But
now, like this.
officially, they
like-
didn't really break the law
Right.
from the way I understand it. Now the gun laws are different in every state.
Right. But like now, this kid, like, okay, like where did he get this gun from, man? He's only 17 years old,
Right.
and to have an extended magazine on that thing.
But you
too?
can buy a rifle. I think in most states, I believe it's 16.
Okay, but
Just
we live
walk
the
in a
state of
store and
Florida.
buy a rifle as a 16-year-old.
But this was a 9mm
Right. It was a 9mm handgun.
handgun.
So that is illegal for a kid to walk in at 16. In most states, you can't walk in and buy a handgun.
So now what if it's stolen, or
But-
what if one of his parents bought it, or what if it was his dad's, or what if?
Yeah. But what
his
if
mom- who knows, man?
you know how many kids have gotten a hold of their parents' guns, and we've had people got shot and killed,
Right.
and nothing really happened to them. They're trying to make an example of these two parents, because it fits the agenda of the current administration to try to take our gun rights away.
I see what you mean.
So they're just trying to make an example of them, scare, put as much scare as they can for anybody that like owns a gun. Oh, now
Right.
I really got to worry about something like this happening to me because I own a gun.
Right.
Just whatever they can do to scare people, to get people
Safety.
on board with wanting to
Right.
take away your Second Amendment rights.
Safety, like you always gotta provide the safety to your kids and say, hey, look, this is what happens. This is what's gonna happen. Like teach the kids.
Teach them when they're young
Yeah, like what
what it is,
this piece of metal is gonna do.
what it can do,
What it can do.
how
Yeah,
you
for
should
sure.
react to finding one.
Some of
Oh,
these kids,
definitely. But
yeah.
I think
Some of
you
these kids-
start with how fragile life is.
yeah,
Right.
Or how much you can lose just by doing something stupid.
And some of these kids don't even know how to clean a gun, don't even know how to take a gun apart, but yet
Yeah.
they own a gun.
No.
I have to do mine. Anyways,
Yeah.
so that's a lot of lives fucked
Yeah.
up because some stupid ass punks.
Yeah.
I don't know what they thought which way they thought was going to get out of that, but
Like they thought they were big and bad
Yeah.
because you had a gun. Where are you at now, bro? Come at me.
right.
Not
part-
come
the
at me,
part
but
of the
like
story
I'm
that-
just saying, like
The part of the
where you
story
at now, like
with those kids that bothered me.
Don't come at me.
no, I'm just saying, like,
Over
don't come
it's
at me. I'm
not
just saying, like,
about
I'm just speaking, like, where you at now?
Damn.
Yeah, the
You
part of
know,
that story
like-
that really bothered me that was when you hear that after they have footage after the 20 shots, and the two kids are laying there dead. That the two kids shook hands.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Like, hey, Vince,
Like,
job well
man,
done.
we pulled it off. We did
Job
what
well
we
done.
came here to do.
For what?
that's-
You only
that's-
last not even 24 hours and you're already busted.
Yeah.
So how old? Oh, you're cool. You're cool.
Yeah, it's
And then now too,
it's
what's up
sad
with your
in
friend?
a lot
Look,
of
your
different
friend.
ways.
And now look at that. All these people that call other people friends. Look at that. Your own friend turn you in, and now your own friend is
No.
also a witness, and now your own friend is also a suspect.
I'll say so. The one that turned his friend in, he might get a lesser sentence.
Don't
but
matter.
when they find out he's a snitch,
They're not gonna like him. in
I've
prison.
seen some of those kinds of shows. They don't take kindly to snitches in there. So
There you go. So it's like
it's like imagine being a cop and going to prison. That put people in there like that'd be scary. Find out you're a cop.
All right. So, anyways, we know.
You got a little off topic.
Yeah, that's cool though. We know the crisis we're facing in this country is not just the border crisis. It's not just our land borders with like Texas, right? It's not just New Mexico or Arizona, any of those border states over there. We're facing it here too in the U.S. And I think it's worth noting closer to home, not just in Ukraine, but other countries that are way closer to the culture here in the U.S., maybe different culture, maybe that's the wrong word to use, but a lot closer to home, shit's hitting the fan, and it's causing a lot to flee their home countries and come here, whether it be by boat, or
Right.
cargo ship or whatnot. And you hear a lot of shit that's going on. Let me make sure we're not going to lose our audio. Anyways, yeah, we're good. So, Florida GOP rep is urging Biden to use the Navy to keep Haitians from coming to the U.S. Right now, we've seen an influx of illegal immigrants coming from Haiti to Florida, and you don't know who's coming. We see them and rush the beaches, and there's nothing you can really do. The people around here, like, we're used to Cubans, so once they touch the land, they're might as well let them go.
And if they can come onto our land that way, so can other terrorists.
Well, definitely. Well, that's definitely the problem. I think that's one way the terrorists have gotten here, but that's definitely been a problem on the border. Definitely in Texas, we've seen it from hostile Middle Eastern countries or China. Military age fighting people. Right now in Haiti, they're talking about the gang leader that's let me get us back over here. The gang leader that's controlling the country right now is known by the name of Barbecue because he's known for eating his enemies. Like, that's his way. Like, he's barbaric. Like, don't fuck with me. I'll barbecue. I'll cook you alive and eat you.
Yeah, well,
And that's what they're running from.
Our president's almost equally as scary.
Yeah, well, he's eating something to stay alive. We saw in the State of the Union when his drugs wore off.
Keep your kids away from Biden.
Yeah, but the immigration in Haiti, I think, has been a big deal, and not the immigration in Haiti, but the immigration coming from Haiti.
Yeah. I mean, definitely when you've got that kind of like dictatorship and the person's sick in the head like that. I mean, obviously, all the more you can understand why they want to get out of that country. I mean, you wouldn't want. I mean, none of us would want to live there, so you can't really blame them. But
hopefully,
and so you're getting bad.
Hopefully, they're not the
right. They're not
the human eaters, the cannibals.
Right. Hopefully, you're not getting a lot of sick people coming over. But like I said, the other scary part is what other kind of terrorists are coming in the same way. If they can do it, so can terrorists from Afghanistan. I mean, whatever. They can go to Haiti first and then come over.
You're
like they're doing.
Right. Absolutely right. And then to help control it, why don't we send in the National Guard? But let's not use Florida National Guard because they need to be on standby for hurricanes. Let's send in National Guard from Oregon to help in Florida, right?
No.
But at what point? Yeah, well, because you're smarter than that. But at what point, do you see something like that? We talked about it briefly about New York
and the subways.
Yeah.
And you had a point of view that I hadn't even really thought about. Like you were saying, you're talking about getting people used to seeing people in uniform on their way to work, and it's
just
like it's just a normal thing.
Just easing it in there just a little bit,
right. And that was like a point of view I hadn't really, thought about until you brought it up, and it's like,
desensitizing us to this whole situation.
That's kind of scary.
And before you know it, though, there'll be like in a state of emergency when the president can federalize the National Guard, which means he can take a state's National Guard. The National Guard belongs to the state.
They're supposed to represent us.
Well, they're your states.
Right.
They belong to Florida. Now, if there's a war or something like that, and the president will federalize, or call upon National Guards to come in, but
there was
under a federalized National Guard, martial law or state of emergency, he can send in National Guard from a different state.
They were talks of that in Texas, and the worry was if he did what he was talking about doing, because they were they were told to stop doing, but they kept doing it.
Oh, putting the barbed wire up,
Yeah,
razor wire.
right, the razor wire.
Yeah.
So he was threatening to do that very thing with Texas, but I think what kept him from doing it was the worry of civil war breaking out.
For sure.
Because I
Yeah.
don't think Texas would have took that too kindly, and I actually would have hoped that Florida would have joined in, along with some other states.
Well, we did. We sent parts of our. We have another setup here in Florida. It's called. We talked about this before. Not just the National Guard,
Oh yeah,
the Florida State Guard, I
Right.
believe it's called. It's a state militia where it's made up of law enforcement, first responders, people of that sort. And the governor had sent a posse over to Texas to help assist.
And now that Biden has no control over that. That belongs to the state solely.
You're right.
He can't.
Right.
He can't just like.
Yes, it's not like a. It's not. Yeah, you're
It's
right.
a state funded.
It's a militia,
Yeah.
and your Constitution protects you for that,
Right.
for a militia. And I watched a episode of Nino Rodriguez with Sheriff Mack, and he did a whole thing about vetting your sheriffs and how important it is. Your constitutional sheriffs are willing to put together a posse, and that's just what he meant. Not like an old-fashioned posse,
Like
hey,
professional.
Bob and Tom, let's go get
Right.
Jerry. He was beating his wife, but
Yeah.
like a last line of defense for
Right.
where the federal government and sometimes the state government falls short, because your sheriff is not your state, it's not your government, it's your county, it's your
And-
it's your closest elected law enforcement there that's meant to protect you.
And let's not forget the one other thing that's there meant to protect you from our government is your Second Amendment right.
Right. So when you're talking to these sheriffs, he urged find out how they are on that Second Amendment. Are they going to
Right.
protect you?
Are they going to
Are they
protect
going
your
to
rights?
protect your rights when the federal government or a county judge makes a unconstitutional decision
Right.
that infringes on it? What is that sheriff going to do? Because ultimately,
Yeah.
he swore an oath to a constitution,
Yeah.
and that constitution doesn't change in a county courtroom or even a federal courtroom. That constitution's there.
Right.
Takes an act of Congress to change that. And how would he feel about that? So we actually talked to a couple sheriff's candidates. One of them publicly so far, which was Sheriff Eric Flowers. On Twitter, we did a space, and I shared it here on
What's that
Rumble
called?
also.
Benford Chronicles.
Yeah, we did it with Joanne Bedford under Bedford Chronicles, and I streamed it on our pages also. And this weekend, this Friday, we'll be talking to Fellsmere Police Chief Touchberry, who's running for the Sheriff's Department in Indian River County. And it's pretty cool. These guys are willing to get on here and do it. Most of them are, I should say. There's 3 conservative candidates, and so far only 2 of them. One of them's been with us. The other's committed.
Right.
The other one's kind of doesn't seem like he cares for the audience. So I don't know about.
I'm interested to hear the Touchberry interview because he's definitely somebody that
interesting
I'd be
part-
considering to vote for him
Yeah.
because I kind of like, from what I've seen, I kind of like him.
I like what he's done with his town. It's local to us. Not all our listeners are local, but he's local to us. I like what he did with the little town. But the big, I noticed with other conservatives, the worry is he's never been in a constitutional position.
Yeah.
He's always been a police officer, whether it's a police chief or a police officer. Never a sworn in deputy to the Constitution, because the sheriffs swear to the Constitution. So it's interesting how he'll go from working for a city to working for the citizens,
Doesn't
Kind of.
matter to me. It doesn't matter as long as the job gets done.
Me too.
No.
I think sometimes, in our case, could be
Maybe that's a good
perfect
thing.
example is somebody outside the department.
Yeah,
Right.
for
If
sure.
he's the right conservative.
Yeah.
Because
you
we've
know?
had some corruption in the local department.
I definitely a Mickey
But-
Mouse outfit. When you got TikTok
And-
cops still running around
Right.
here, and meanwhile you demote this other guy, and there's just drama in the department.
And
you
we're-
hear about
we're-
half of them are afraid to talk.
We're talking about our local area, but this applies to
It's in
everybody.
every one of them.
It don't matter where you live. You live in this country. It's just so important to make sure you get the right people and at the right places at your local sheriffs, councilmen, just all your local stuff. It makes a big difference. Those are the ones that are really there to defend your rights.
Yeah, so this Friday, the 22nd, we'll be talking to Chief Touchberry. If you're not even local, if you want to tune in and see how a couple of amateurs do it, tune in. I mean, it's a Twitter X. If you're on your phone, you can ask questions. You can raise your hand to ask questions. If you're on your computer, all you can do is listen in. But either way, you don't have to ask questions. You don't have to go to Twitter. You can go to our Rumble page, our Facebook page, or Joanne's. This is Joanne's page here. Binford Chronicles. I don't know if you can see that. At jbin_chronicles on Twitter. She does a pretty good job of asking these candidates good questions and putting them on the spot. Not a lot of people want to speak up, so they'll send us their questions. I just happen to have like a magazine loaded with questions that go usually, the county commissioners. I don't really. It's a new frontier for me, but as far as sheriff's candidates and national stage goes, I'm pretty in tune to what they're about. I hope. That looks like shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Camera was going out of focus, but whatever.
Anyways, so that 22nd is Touchberry, and then we'll be talking to some other local candidates. But even if you're not, like I said, local, tune in. I mean, give us a thumbs up if you want to ask a question. Keep it respectful and according to the subject, and ask questions. Like
what the subject is?
Well, just what he's planning on.
Yeah, it's an open forum.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This guy's running to be your sheriff. You can ask him any question you want.
But I'm sure Joanne's gonna ask him what are you gonna do if you were elected sheriff, or how would you have handled a certain situation she might bring up? How would you have done it differently than the last sheriff did it?
What
I'm
time
sure
is
those
this
will
at,
be
Mike?
6 o'clock, right?
These are Fridays at 6:00.
I might want to ask him something.
Yeah. Chime in there on Twitter on your phone and
X.
on Twitter?
Yeah, X. I'm sorry. Yeah, I keep fucking that up. It's X. What else did you have? I got President Trump and his bloodbath comment. Did you guys catch that?
I heard about it, but I didn't see it. I haven't actually seen him say it.
Yeah,
But
he
I
was
heard about
talking
it.
about China and the auto industry. China's building a bunch of plants in Mexico and think they're going to sell their vehicles over here. So Trump said, if I get in, he's going to charge 100% tariff on any cars that come across the border. He's like, they won't want to sell any cars here, So he said it's going to, the auto industry economy is going to be a bloodbath, So they took his speech out of context, which was it was actually a campaign event for somebody running for Senate. Might have been an incumbent or something. I don't know. So it was a campaign event for a different candidate for a different office, and they took his speech out of context, and now they're saying, see, he's inciting violence. He's saying if he doesn't get in, it's going to be a bloodbath.
That's just.
So what are you left to
that's-
believe? If you don't
That's
really
the
pay
kind of shit
attention,
you expect for them to
if
do, though.
your
now.
grandma sitting at home,
Yeah.
90-year-old grandma sitting at home,
Going,
and you
oh
hear
my
that, and
god,
you're like,
oh my god,
holy shit, he is a freaking bad guy.
they were
And then
right.
when Susie Bluehair comes knocking at the door, ballot harvesting, says, hey, we're picking up ballots, would you check the D and, and sign your name, and you don't have to go to vote, we got it. And that's what they're doing, man. This is all, what do they call, not predictive programming, but propaganda. First of all, it's election interference, I believe. Actually, I mean, it's part of it, I guess, but I think it's definitely public persuasion when it comes to an election season. I think it's fucked up. But that's what they do with anything to get orange, man. But yeah, multiple like CBS, ABC, NPR, and The Guardian, Yahoo all failed to mention that he's speaking within context to the auto industry in the United States. So that was a story. I don't know who that was. Fox News or Politico or some shit like that. But like, so when you're talking politics, I mean, have you felt yourself get pulled towards the middle on more social issues in the past few years?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I want to say I've kind of always been pulled in the middle a little bit, but more, a little bit more lately, but at the same time, like I can't vote. Like there's no way I would ever vote for the other side
fuck
right now.
that.
Like that's not even close.
I think
I'm
that- I think it's
way further
been polarized
to the right than I've ever been when it comes to.
I think more people have been forced to choose sides and be more
That's what they want.
polarized over the years. And well, you know, we see how the left and the deep state operates with their propaganda, with their staffing, like in media, anchors, storytellers, just who you put in that position has a lot to do with legacy and predictive programming. So I forget where I was going with all this, but I think it's important to pay attention to that. Like we saw Elon with X went into a partnership with Don Lemon. I don't know if you watch CNN at all. I don't, but I know this dumbass works for CNN or used to. He got fired because he sucks. They lost major views under Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, who we'll get to in just a second. But we saw them go into this partnership. But the first interview was going to be Don Lemon interviewing Elon Musk. Well, before the interview even aired, Elon Musk cut off the partnership with Don Lemon. Don Lemon goes out on The View and says, oh, look, he's not really all that free speech when it comes to asking questions about him. He fired me, this and that. When it turns out he had a list of demands like a freaking little Barbie girl that wanted like an $8 million salary, $5 million up front. He wanted controlling like a controlling percentage of shares when it came to X policy changes. So like he wanted like an operating ownership in X. This dude, a total diva. So of course Elon was like, you're fucking nuts. You know, it's like, you're more than welcome to post your show to X, but there's not going to be any partnership.
I'm not giving you a quarter of the company.
And he was asking Elon probably some personal questions. I didn't watch it, but I think I think the right, and Elon isn't even right, but he's been polarized also.
Right.
But the more the right
Elon
tries
historically
to do,
was Democrat.
right, but the more people on the right try to be like, hey, you know, let's play ball, let's give it, you know, try to invite somebody on the left. This is what happens. They make a freaking fool out of you, and that's part of their overall plan. That person might not be in on the plan, but people who put them there definitely are.
The biggest thing that they're trying to do right now, and I still believe China's behind a lot of it. They might not be the only ones, but what's one of the biggest ways you can weaken our country? Divide us, right? If you're trying to fight 200 people, wouldn't it be easier to fight 100? Like, or if you still got 200 people, but they're in disarray because they're fighting amongst themselves, they're going to be easier to fight.
Right.
So they're just any way possible. It's all about dividing us as much as they can.
Yeah, I'm not cutting you off, Vince. You can keep talking. This is just an article on post-millennial.
No, Mike, I'm done.
I'm done with this shit. Don Lemon claims Elon Musk canceled X partnership after interview. But it wasn't just because of the interview. I mean, it was what Elon's response to him was it was pretty much what Don did on CNN, except he was trying to do on X. Right. He brought CNN to X, and he's like, it's not what we're interested in.
And like
it's not
you said,
what
he's
the plan was.
asking for so much that basically he was asking him to fire him.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't going to do it.
And that's the other point people said. Like, it was ridiculous. It's like, hey, you know, Vince, you want me to come work for you? All right, man, I need $150,000 a year.
But I only make $75,000 a year now.
Oh, so
I
you
can't give you double what I make.
So okay, so now
you're fired. Mike, Leo, will you work for
Vince
25?
fired me. Vince wouldn't pay me, man. Vince wouldn't pay me.
Leo worked for less.
Right. So
Shit.
I don't know who's giving us some thumbs up, but thank you. I got this thing all tweaked up.
Funny Vince.
I don't know who it is.
What happened? Somebody messages.
Who knows? I got thumbs up somewhere. A couple of them. But yeah, so it's
My
like
phone disconnected.
so not just that. Then you come across. Leo, this somebody you're a little familiar with is Patrick Bet David, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got this multi-level marketing scheme, whatever the hell he does on the outside, but he does the media side also,
Right.
and his home team podcast. It's a pretty good podcast.
Yeah,
I like to watch it. I like the guys on there. I can have beers with them dudes or whatever, even the smart old guy. But here's a staffing decision he's made that's raised a lot of eyebrows when he made a deal with Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo is another failed CNN anchor who is the brother of Governor Cuomo of New York, former governor, who was responsible for approximately 15,000 deaths by sending COVID patients into nursing homes back during the 2020 crisis. His brother literally killed people. His policies killed people, and he blamed it on Trump. And this guy right here used his platform on CNN to boast up his brother, to lie for his brother, to push the stupid narrative. He faked a COVID quarantine. He did a whole bit about how he was down in his basement, for 2 weeks and this and that, and he hasn't seen his family. Meanwhile, there was footage of him some ski resort or whatnot, and then he went for a jog, but he thought he was going to be safe, and he was yelling at somebody, and did a whole nother bit coming out of the basement for the first time. So it's pretty ironic. A lot of people are pretty upset with Patrick Bet David for hiring somebody from the left, failed CNN guy, to be part of the home team. Now he's going to be a rotating talent, which means some days he'll be there. They might rotate Vinny out for Chris Cuomo. Hopefully not. But I don't know. They keep giving a handout to the left. What's going to happen? Some other talent.
I think that's their way of bringing them in, Mike. Though, let me bring one in real quick, and then I'm going to switch you over real quick.
Or do you think they're going to roast him?
That too?
Well,
that too?
PBD says he's a good guy. Like, we hung out till like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
we weren't even drinking, but it was just like a good person, which I get that.
Right.
And he seems like somebody who could be some sense talked into, or could agree with some sense. But
that's what I'm saying. PBD, maybe he might.
But
think
what he did, though, can you forgive that?
I know he's probably trying to change him and then making him open his eyes and see what he did.
Yeah, I don't know. His response is...
He's got a plan for him, though. I tell you that. He's got a plan for him.
He believes in capitalism, and he believes capitalism will prove him right. He said that could be 10 years from now or whatever, but he's going with his decision. So, all for PBD. You don't have to watch the episodes with Chris Cuomo. I don't think I will. Maybe I'll watch the first one or two, but I don't really like the guy. I wouldn't watch him on CNN. I don't really need to watch 2 hours of PBD with Chris Cuomo either. I like PBD for what it was. But anyways, you make up your own decisions. That was Don Lemon. Yeah, in the Valuetainment hiring Chris Cuomo. I don't really know what else I had. We talked about the shooting. We talked about Rumble making an offer for TikTok, which I think would be the platform's way into the short form media, the 9:16 format, short form, short video type stuff. Rumble don't have that. Mm-mm. You can upload shorts, but it's still going to be
a regular video.
Yeah,
I believe,
whatever the format is. Yeah. Anyways,
like a post or whatever it is. Whatever,
the
format
1080 by 1280 or 1220. I
don't they also have something that's more like a story?
Yeah,
short. I think.
Who?
Rumble. I think it's more. It shows up more like a story.
No.
Was that Rumble I was on?
No, you're thinking of Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
You can do reels and stories. I don't really know what the difference is. I don't know why there is a difference. I'm surprised there is.
There is.
I thought I was close to getting Facebook fixed.
A story.
These aren't the stories up here.
No, that's just whoever is live.
Let me see, Vince.
The people you follow.
Yeah, it's the lives up top, I guess. The people that you follow.
Yeah.
So Facebook has got me to the point we're not on Facebook right at the moment, and that's probably pretty good because they fucking suck. I thought I finally got somewhere
Oh.
in fixing the advertising restrictions on my account. I can't create ads or manage ad account on any of my pages.
Huh.
My business pages, the podcast page, uh, the
Yeah.
media page, the IRC connections or Indian River connections page, IRC Washington. Can't manage any of that. I don't know if any other admins, like you guys are admins on To The Point, you might be able to manage ads if we wanted to run advertising for the podcast. That's not what I'm looking for though.
Right.
I know that would be controversial, but I did once and I never ran ads again. Didn't need to, but for other businesses, and I thought I finally got it. Somewhere it said something about it couldn't verify my identity, which is bullshit because they've got my identity on file.
Well, the problem
If
is they
you
know
go to my identity verification, I'm already verified.
They know you represent the right.
So I went through
That's
all
why.
the steps again.
Right.
I went back a day later. Says I'm cleared and I'm verified. So I go to Ads Manager, go to
Nope.
make an ad for a business. Nope. Permanently restricted again. And then it's just the same thing I've always been encountering. It's a circle jerk, a freaking
Never-ending loop.
loop of stupid links that bring me right back to where I was. And I've done feedback and I haven't gotten any response back at all. So Facebook fucking sucks. You can't run a business on Facebook. And I've had no restrictions on any of my content on any of the pages I was even an admin on or own. It's this or any of the other ones. There nothing other than, maybe put this warning on it or something.
You've
but
been tagged, Mike.
yeah, well, that's it. Just why? But nothing's been. Other accounts like TGI Now, the guys at TGI Now, their Facebook page has been taken down before, and YouTube, but we don't get the violations. We get the shadow banning. So make sure you like and share the show. I appreciate the thumbs up. Comment helps. Subscribe. That we've got 3 channels on Rumble. One of them is To The Point Podcast. One is a shorts channel, To The Point Shorts, and then the new one is IRC or Indian River Connections. I get it confused with the business. That's IRC Washington, but Indian River Connections. It's local based out of Indian River County or that area, which we're working on in collaboration soon. We're hoping to have some material to put out there. If you have any submissions or anybody interesting you want to tell us about or you want to introduce us to, let's talk. You can go to the website, fill out a submission form. If that's not working, because I don't know if it is or not, shoot one of us a text or DM on any platform that you're watching us at. But be sure to like and follow us on wherever you are. Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, X, Truth, Locals, where else?
Make sure to give us a like and a share. Definitely a share.
Yeah.
Fans only page coming soon.
Yeah, so of course we're live tonight. It's Monday. Tomorrow's voting day for us in Florida. March 18th, episode 67. You good? You guys good? You want to get out of here?
You know, we're good.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's just fucking take it out.
Do it live.
No, fuck it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.